Hi, I'm Fox Fisher. I'm a non-binary trans-masculine person, and I didn't always look and sound like I do now. When I was growing up, there was no understanding about trans issues, and I was misread as a tomboy and troublemaker in my family for not wanting to conform to what was expected of me as a girl. I know that clothing doesn't make the person, but I can't tell you how uncomfortable I felt age 2 wearing a bridesmaid dress, a big old poofy bridesmaid dress, and wearing the dresses that my nana used to make for me. And later as a teenager, for 5 years, I had to wear a skirt and tights at school. I just knew that these things were heavily associated with girls and being feminine, and that wasn't something that I could connect to at all. I just knew that it wasn't me. I felt so lost, and my family wasn't able to help me because there was no understanding about trans issues whatsoever. This is a picture of me age 11, just at the start of the wrong puberty. As my puberty hit, I remember feeling pretty awful. I was aware that my body was starting to change and develop in ways that I really wasn't okay with. I didn't want breasts, I didn't want curves, and I most definitely did not want my period. The first few months that I started bleeding, I kept it from everyone except my sister. My sister is 2 years older than me, and by that point had already started her period. I borrowed pads and tampons from her, and I just tried to deal with it. I felt so much shame around it, about vocalizing what was happening to me. I felt so afraid of those words, "You're a woman now," because I just didn't feel like that at all. My nana, the one that would spend days making my sister and I these frilly dresses, she was a widow, and she, for some reason, had 70% off cruises. One year, she decided that she was going to take my family on a cruise. It was on that cruise that I noticed my period had returned. Like clockwork. And my sister, she no longer wanted to share her period products with me, so she said, "Look, you're gonna have to tell mom." I remember I was in the bathroom cubicle and I sent my sister out to get my mom. My mom came in, my mom offered me a tampon under the cubicle door, and when I came out and joined the rest of the group, I remember my nana was beaming at me and she said those dreaded words. She said, "You're a woman now." I felt so awful, I felt so embarrassed, and I just didn't know why. Around that time, I went from being a really good kid at school, I was in the year above, I was getting really good grades. I started hanging out with the wrong crowd who were really into just rebelling in every way, breaking into the swimming pool, an abandoned theatre, smoking, just up to no good generally. And I remember for no reason at all, I bought some donuts from the donut shop, and when I'd had my fill of donuts, I had loads left, and I was on the top of a rooftop building, and I remember throwing these donuts into the swimming pool nearby. And because it was a very small community, when I next went to the donut shop, I remember the guy being like, "I know what you did with those donuts." And I just had no explanation for it. I'd never been in trouble really before. I remember being particularly upset because I knew that my dad would punish me for it. And I also was really desperate to please my parents, but I was just expressing myself in really rebellious ways because I couldn't handle my body changing in ways that I didn't understand and didn't like. And I had no way of explaining what was going on. Around this time, my family returned from Saudi Arabia back to the UK, and I had to deal with trying to fit in school as a brown, queer, trans-masculine, in the closet, person with an American accent. I grew up during the dreaded Section 28, where LGBTQIA+ students and teachers couldn't help each other, they couldn't talk about being queer or trans. And so there was just no understanding about it, and I felt really, really lost. At the time, it actually felt that homophobia and transphobia was encouraged, and we were the butt of everyone's jokes, and there was just no support at all. I'm just so glad that things are a lot better today. I'm so pleased that my books and other books on trans issues and queer issues are actually available in school libraries. After coming out as trans and starting testosterone in my 20s, I was finally able to start being myself.
And I mean, tomorrow I'll wake up and it's like I don't need to think, oh man, I've got to do I've got to put my stuff on and I've got to worry about when I'm going to shower because of T-gel. I just, get to wake up and then in 3 months, or sorry, for the first time, in 6 weeks' time, I'll go have another shot. So I don't even need to worry about it until the end of June.
I was finally able to be more comfortable in my own skin. And I've just worked out that I've had 234 periods in my life. That is a lot of period products. I've used them all: tampons, pads, and the menstrual cup. My choice of period products would have to be these tampons. They're from Natracare. I like them because they're chlorine-free, they're biodegradable, they're organic, they're plastic-free, and they're super because, oh boy, I had a heavy flow. By the way, Natracare has just brought out a zine, which I contributed some illustrations to, and it's a platform for people with periods who aren't just women, so it includes some educational content and creative work. I wanted to contribute to the zine because it's important for people with periods to feel included. It's important to have a space to feel supported and to discuss healthcare. Check out the zine in the link below. So this is me a few months on testosterone.
Hey gang, this is Fox here. Just a quick video to say hi. Yeah, so I'm here at 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐤 and I'm here to make some t-shirts for the FTM pricing group that I belong to, and the people should be here quite soon, so I've been prepping screens and sorting stuff out and generally getting ready for tomorrow.
I want you to see this to know that you can't really judge a book by its cover. By this time I was already out as trans and I was taking hormones. And although it felt a real relief to be on the journey, to be heading somewhere, I was being misgendered and it felt really strange to still have my period. Now I've been taking testosterone for 10 years and I haven't had my period for 9 years and 6 months. If I stopped taking testosterone today, within about 4 to 6 months my periods would probably return. My voice and my facial hair would probably stay as it is. My fat would redistribute a little bit, but I'd probably still be read as male or masculine in public. And this is even though I would still be having my period. I'd like to share some top tips for people who are experiencing cramping. Wearing comfortable clothes can really help you to relax, so you can swap out those skinny jeans or tight leggings for something a lot more comfortable like sweatpants. You can snuggle up in blankets, pillows, anything soft basically. If you're really feeling discomfort, you could just lie on the floor, and if you put your knees up to your chest and roll about a little bit, that's really good for your organs, just to give them a bit of an internal massage, and that can really help with the swelling. Anti-inflammatory foods include almonds, pineapples, tomatoes and blueberries, so you can gorge yourself silly on that. Unfortunately, sugar isn't very good for you, so try and avoid the sugar because that increases inflammation. Also, try and remember to drink lots of water to replace any fluids, and green tea is really helpful as well. You could take ibuprofen or aspirin to help ease the pain. A long soak in a hot bath might also be helpful for you. Additionally, a hot water bottle or essential oils can be really good as well. If you're non-binary transmasculine, you are probably going to experience some sort of discomfort, dysphoria around your period. For you in particular, I recommend distracting yourself. So a binge watch of a series or films could be really good, like a marathon of film watching. Long chats with your friends could be great. I recommend listening to music because music is such a wonderful distraction. I recommend classical music because there's something very uplifting I find in that. Getting lost in a really good book, including comics. And if you're into gaming or you want to start gaming, you could always have a character which really represents who you are more than where you're at today. Thanks for listening to me talk about periods and how it affected me growing up. I'd love to hear your stories about periods and how that's affected you in the box below. Subscribe if you feel like seeing more films by me. And don't forget to check out the zine below that I was telling you about. Thanks a lot for listening to me talk about periods, which I'm trying to feel less uncomfortable about. So thanks a lot for being part of this journey. And yeah, we shouldn't feel uncomfortable about this kind of stuff. We should talk about this more because it's our bodies, it's natural, and we should be proud of who we are. So yeah, look after yourself and thanks a lot.